following message is being transmitted at the request of the Boundless PodTrap movie review and the guys of the BPT. What you are about to hear contains spoilers to movies. If you don't want to hear these spoilers, please disengage your listening device at this time. If you can't handle those with a possible differing view on a movie, you may also want to disengage your listening device at this time. Stay tuned for a movie review that only the guys at the Boundless PodTrap can give you.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
You could have watched this movie 3 times in the time it would have taken you to watch Babylon.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Close.
Welcome to the Boundless PodTrap Movie Review, episode 38. I am your host, Lonnie, this evening. With me, as always...
Well, not always.
Well, with me this evening.
How you know he was talking about you?
Yeah.
Well, in this group, period.
With me this evening, fucking Semantics Joe himself, John Marshall. Eating popcorn like a fucking champ.
John Marshall!
John Marshall! Beautiful, beautiful. If we only cared about football.
Welcome,
John Marshall. And the MANMAIL himself,
that just
Justin Milani.
Hey, what's happening?
What's happening, hot stuff?
I don't know where I got that. I want to say I got that from like Cheech Marin. What's happening? But I've said that since like elementary school. What's happening? Anyways.
I see you hung up more art. Is that Janine Garofalo?
That's me, man.
Second time you used that joke. That's why I said I'm over his shit today. Why is your nose a Twinkie?
That's the shading. That was an art project, man.
What's the
Who
character?
made it?
I did. That was
What's the characters behind it? Is it the lyrics to Shawn Michaels' entrance theme?
it says angel.
You're so random today.
It says man heaven. It's kanji for man heaven angel.
Yeah.
This sounds like main podcast talk.
It does. Anyway, let's move into the movie.
Well,
see next week for more info on that.
Info on art.
Art. Okay.
So is this our first one of 2024?
Yeah. Welcome to 2024. I hope it's better than 2023's movies because
just go.
There were some not good ones, boys.
What are you talking about? We had some awesome ones.
We had some awesome ones, but we also had some not. I got one movie in 2024. All right, don't give me that shit.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
What?
We only get one movie a month.
Romeo and Juliet was
2024.
Awesome. Willows Creek was not.
Willows Creek was great. All right,
okay.
Just because you get bored by people sitting in a tent staring at a camera.
Jacob's Ladder was amazing.
That was in 2023.
That was episode 31, so it might have been not.
It was 2023.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever.
Oh, God.
2024. This is going to be the year. 2024 is going to be the year. But before we get into this, gentlemen,
I'm going to finally get a bad one.
What's a giallo film?
A giallo film is an Italian movie that it's like an Italian horror movie.
Look how
that plays
fucking
on
fast that dude was ready to answer that question.
I know. I'm going to rely on you a lot for this movie because most of these names, I'm just going to sound like pasta.
Pasta?
I'm going to get one name right. But tonight, we are covering 2012's Berbian Sound Studio.
Bernstein Bears.
Correcto.
But yeah, this one's kind of a surprise. I wasn't on the show last week, so didn't really know what was coming. I picked this off
the theme recently.
Yeah, I picked this one off the movie list, and I gave it a go. And
was this one all right? I felt like you had this one in the holster for a while.
I wrote that big long movie list, and I think I've hit it 3 or 4 times, but I've just kind of been like, it's not time.
And I
It's
really
not
like
time.
that you picked that now, because after last movie one, where it goes into like the changing of what film actually is, this is more going into like the sound and the quality of all that.
Yeah, and a big thing about this movie is, and with giallo films in general, in the late 60s or early 70s, Foley was a huge thing. And if you don't know what Foley is post-recording of audio. They would shoot the film silently, and then they would post-record all the words, all the sounds. And basically that's what this film is. It's the people in the sound studio recording the sound, and it sounds boring as hell. But if you have an imagination, this movie is right up your alley, starring the wonderful and charming Toby Jones, the wonderfully weirdly casted Toby Jones.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then
as Gilderoy there,
Gilderoy and Antonio Machino as. Help me out there, Justin.
Giancarlo Santini.
If you don't know Toby, he
Santini.
is Zola from Captain America.
Yeah. And then Cosimo
Fusco.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is bad.
It's going to be rough.
Cosimo Fusco as Francesco Coraggio, Susano Capellaro, Veronica. There's a few names
Veronica
there.
That Veronica Vaughn.
Yeah.
Hartley.
Those are some of the main ones. Guido Dorni as Lorenzo. He was an interesting character.
Pretty small cast.
Yes.
Because it takes place in really 3 locations.
Yes.
It never leaves the studio.
It's like you're in the studio and part of certain other things, it could be or it couldn't be the studio as well. So there's like a hotel room, if you will, and a hallway. I mean, that's still part of the studio, though.
Right.
But the majority, I would say 90% of the film is in a centralized location behind a sound booth.
Right. And if you've ever been in a recording studio, you know how cramped and overwhelming it can get. But before we get into our thoughts and our prayers on the movie, let's go ahead and give our thoughts on it before this movie got a Metacritic score of an 86 and then a 6.2 rating on IMDb. John, what do you give it?
So it's got an 86 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is fresh from the critics, not so fresh from the viewers at 53. So I knew that coming in. So, Lonnie, what I like about you.
I love it when they start
like
like
this.
this. I love it when they start like this.
He doesn't do movies, he does projects. I love that.
No, see, I like
experiments.
That you've brought me into this. Because I feel like all 4 of us, when Jeremy's here, and even Brian adds a certain spice that none of us... Yeah, Brian, sorry. All of us have a certain spice. None of us bring the same thing to the fold, I think. I think that's what's good about this. So, you made me read, so I automatically hate you.
Put it in your ass. I don't give a shit.
Oh my God. Brian's here? I'm trying to sum it up, but I'm just going to blurt out what I feel. I'm still confused on what the fuck happened in this movie. Like, I don't really know what was going on. I don't know the plot of this, basically, besides some sleazy Italian people who are shitty to women to make a movie about witches, basically. Is that what it is? Witches and hot fucking rods going in their vaginas and...
Hot pokers?
Nice. Yeah.
He really wants to sizzle.
It's weird, too, because... Go ahead, finish that.
I was never bored because I was confused, but I never enjoyed it. So I'm giving this movie a 3. I'm still confused, and this is why I'm glad that we're reviewing this, because I want to hear you guys talk about it, so maybe I can understand it more.
I have a rating, but I don't know if I'm solid on my rating, because my idea of the movie, what I took from it, I think probably rates it higher than what it might actually be.
Well, why don't you give us your rating now? We'll talk about it, and then we can revamp your rating at the end.
I feel like your rating is going to sway mine.
Okay.
And I want to allow it for this movie.
Maybe we should start doing this in 2024.
So you want me to give mine first?
I'm going to, it's better than a 5. I'm going to put it at a 6.
Okay.
For me. Because I was able to pull something out of it that I read so many undertones with this.
Yeah.
And I don't know I think for the average viewer, R4A Jeremy, you got nothing out of it.
I mean, I feel like I got nothing out of this.
So
go ahead and get yours.
So this movie is something you do not put on at a party. You do not put this on to watch for enjoyment. You put this movie
to go to sleep.
You put this movie on when you've had a couple edibles. You put this movie on when you really want to.
And I was going to say that. I wonder what this would be like. Because I have a couple films that my friend watches, and he's like, but I'm like, you're high when you watch these. Like, maybe I need to be that.
This is a movie where you need to have your imagination running wild. Because every time he makes a sound and it focuses on the sound, you have to be able to imagine what's going on. Like when it says she falls and dies on the thing and you just hear that audio
show you,
going over and over again. It's made for you to interpret in your mind what's going on because your mind is much scarier than anything they could put on film. So that's really the concept of this movie. It's supposed to take place in the late 60s, early 70s.
Okay.
That's where like the womanizing and the stuff came from. But I don't know if they portrayed that part too well. I think they focused very much on trying to get the audio and the suspense perfect. And then the actual acting part, they're like, oh, fuck it. We need to do this really well.
Yeah.
The thing I'm surprised, John, you didn't mention was the fact that the movie just kind of ends. There's really like...
That's why I'm confused. And I wanted to be like, okay, I wanted to hear what you guys had to say first because I didn't want to be like, did I miss something?
No,
but apparently I didn't.
It just ends because the movie they're making just ends. Like they make the movie and it's done. But that's the whole concept of the movie is they're making the movie. They're making Foley for a movie.
I was also annoyed that there was a minute and a half of like studio trailer thing, like what do they call those things where they like show? Yeah. I was like, all right, get on with the fucking movie. We get it. There's 27,
and that was probably the most
involved on it.
Giallo part of this, except for like maybe 2 scenes in here.
Right.
I mean, this is not a Giallo movie. This is a movie about Giallo.
Yeah, and if you like Giallo movies, you can really kind of let the sound get into your head, and you can picture it a little better. If you don't really like Giallo movies, you really listen to it, and it's like, oh, they're just making a horror movie. I kind of let my imagination run wild when I watched it, but it's such a slow burn. There's so much dead space where your imagination kind of runs away from you.
I also watched this after a 9-hour shift, so
yeah, that's hard too. So I would give this movie a 7. Justin, did I convince or sway you in any way?
I don't know. I feel like there might be one part here. This, again, is not a movie I would recommend to other people. This is a movie that to your average viewer. This is something, if you have an interest in maybe how films are made, Foley work, if you have an interest in, Giallos, or Gialli, I should say, since that's the Italian version. Or if you have a interest in, like, just sound design, music production, and stuff like that, like, because I love the whole analog part of this. Mm-hmm. That actually maximized something, and I'll probably get into that a little bit later. But Toby Jones he's a pretty good actor. I do like him in a lot of the stuff, and I also hate him in a lot of the stuff, and that makes him that good, Right. But
I think he was horribly cast in this, though.
I don't know. I feel like it helps because this kind of goes into the derangement, and my idea with this is him. I feel like his mind. He went to a decline and became the killer. This is a movie where art imitates life.
Exactly.
Where he's making so much that the movie ends up becoming him. And once he does, I'm also writing on another parallel where maybe it's like a mental snap where he ends up being a killer.
Yeah.
Because what he is what he is scoring.
That's what I was waiting for at the end, for him to like murder somebody. Or something.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of that stuff in the undertones, in the symbolism of the things that were kind of handed, the stuff with his mom, the stuff with the birds, the stuff with the shed out back, which is his sound.
What happened to those birds?
They got killed.
By magpies?
They unalived by magpies.
Magpies. Not what's his
She
name
wasn't
magpie.
for certain, though. Could have been.
But I think
nothing is for certain in that
I would have
movie.
rather seen that in the movie than.
I think that's also an overtone or undertone or whatever. I think it's supposed to mean something else because, I mean, birds are symbols of like freedom or all this other stuff. I have more on that when I get into it. Weird. I don't know that my score is going to vary too much from the 6, but because fuck it, it's 6.
Plain and 6. So it's about where I thought it would be. So it's a VPT rating of 5.5. Yeah. So getting into
starting off 2024 strong.
5.5.
Now, we did bring this up that you might change your thing and I might change mine too. Should we do this in 2024? Start a rating, then at the end maybe re-rate it and see if we understand it more? We could try it and see how it works. If not, then we could just forget it and that it ever happens.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, let's get into it because I'm curious what you guys have to say.
So this movie, the most important thing about this movie, opening night, this movie grossed
$8.
$6,600. Almost $6,600. That is
US?
U.S. Yeah, $6,600.
Did this do well in Italy?
It grossed like 300,000 worldwide.
There's more of an audience in Italy.
They don't have to read the fucking caption.
Well, in the movie itself wasn't even made in Italy. It was made in the UK.
Yeah. Mia lingua.
Yeah, 312,000.
No, it's not.
Gross worldwide.
You're from Shawnee. Caramella. Is it?
That receptionist is so hot, though.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
So she, was it her name? Poobaloo?
Yeah,
Elena
exactly.
or something like
Poobaloo.
Her name was like Elena or something.
Tanya Satrapoulou.
Oh, her real name?
Sotiropoulou. She's Greek, so she has that. There's a few people who are not Italian in this.
Is that just their excuse?
I'm assuming Fatma Mohammed is like Iranian or something like that, and Tanya is Greek, and then Toby Jones is English, but everybody else is Italian.
Yeah, Veronica Vaughn.
So a little bit about the director. The director right about this movie, Peter Strickland, has really done nothing else. He's done a lot of movies similar to this.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that
reminds me of the...
That's
his
really
name sounds familiar. That's why I looked him up, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, he hasn't really done anything besides stuff like this. But this movie was actually based on a short he did back in 2005, a minute-long short about making audio for a B movie. And then apparently he liked it enough to greenlight making a full feature.
This is definitely an art film. So,
yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, the intentions of certain things are missed. So
by me.
Yeah. John didn't understand much of the ending. What is your understanding of like
I said, I was on a 9-hour shift, so that's why I'm also curious.
So my understanding of the ending is
sober. Were you sober?
Yeah, okay. I was sober when I watched this.
I got a new Delta 10 pen. I need to maybe rewatch it with that.
So my interpretation of the ending, like I said, the movie's slow, and you get ramped up moments of imagination and using your parts, and when those happen, it's intense. So you go from these peaks and valleys of emotion, and when you get to the end, you're kind of on a peak, and then it drops out to balance, and you're on that verge of it's going to peak. Like you think it's going to peak again at the end, and it doesn't. It just kind of blue balls you.
Yes, it does.
So
I thought I missed something. I rewound it.
Right.
And I was like, wait.
And then it pops up with the traditional Berbian sound studio. Like you're like, the fuck? So I think the ending's very ambiguous to the plot of the movie. But then again, like you want something. You've had your imagination going this whole time that something's going to happen with Toby Jones, and like it's all a big setup for something because this is described as a horror movie,
right? Or thriller,
horror movie, drama,
thriller for sure.
Yeah. So you're expecting something to happen, and when it doesn't, you realize that you've just been mentally fucked with for an hour and 30 minutes.
Honestly,
I really liked. Well. Because of it's filmed in Italian or in Italy, I like the whole juxtaposition of that because Italian is a very expressive language. Yeah. Like you use certain there's so much music in the language itself. There's the hand gestures. There's not just the voice. There's the rounding of certain syllables, and it's like you can kind of understand what somebody's trying to get. And I'm doing it myself right now. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are.
Did you see his fingers?
Yeah, bippity boppity. Yeah. But like the language itself is so romantic and so out there. Exfoliating is the wrong word. But yeah, and like him himself, Gilderoy from Dorking, England, South England there. Like he is one of the guys who's from, they're more manners and etiquette and like straight stiff. And so it's like not only just the cultural impact on him, like taking him out of his element, it adds to it, I think. Right. So.
And it's a very raucous environment as well in the studio. It's not just people sitting behind, the board and doing audio. I would see him as like an
fish tank
assistant. Well, not even that, like the assistant or whatever, the showrunner bringing random women in.
Oh, yeah.
So it's chaos.
I didn't get his position, Lorenzo's position for a while.
He's basically like I said, assistant showrunner.
Just the cast.
Bringing the horror in.
Too.
So basically,
whatever.
So the movie starts, Toby Jones gets off a plane, comes to the studio, meets the beautiful receptionist who
Elena
instantly shits on him.
Well, she doesn't speak. She doesn't speak for that first one.
Oh,
she just kind of
she
like
says
rolls
no.
She goes, no. And then she speaks perfect English, telling him where to go.
Yeah. you go to Studio 4.
Yeah,
And
Toby
that's
Jones has like a suitcase in his hand as though he's taking a trip. It's his luggage. He's bringing things with him. He hears like a blood-curdling scream down the hallway.
Right.
Or an orgasm.
That too.
Yeah.
Because
That was a hot
apparently
poker.
that's not the same sound.
Giallo.
They're all the same to me.
The
I don't-
director guy.
you
Such
must
a
be
dickhead.
You must be doing it wrong. Anyway.
No, that's what he said.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to fear. I don't want a fake orgasm, is what he said.
Right. And then you meet Antonio
screen is
Mancelli, the Giannacello.
I really want pasta now, actually.
You meet them, you meet their relationship, and then instantly there's a tension when it comes to financing. That seems to be an overarching theme of the whole thing is financing.
Kind of. I think it kind of begs more onto like the foreign entity, if that's a word itself. Like, nope. Because he can't quite get the communication across that he's trying to get his ticket comped, but it seems as though people are kind of toying with him. And I think that's also helps to push him over the top because he's so proper. He's apologizing about certain things. Right. And then after a while, he's like, fuck this shit. Like, you guys are toying with, like, he's not at home. He's not in some place that he's familiar
Dude, they were
with.
just so mean to him.
And he knows his way around a sound studio, but they're still giving him shit about that. Like, don't touch.
Yeah, don't switch the chords and all that shit.
Right.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And I think that's
That guy
why
makes me mad.
why you expect as an American audience that he's gonna go crazy. He's gonna freak out and kill people, and like they bait you in to the red herring that he's gonna go crazy. The movie's about him. And that's where your imagination kicks in. Like, you're in overdrive this whole time trying to predict the movie when it's just so simple and so written right in front of your face. Yeah. Literally nothing.
So, like, starting off when he makes that down the hallway, like, just the textures of the sound already. You can hear, like, the grip of certain things, the sounds, the echoing of the footsteps.
Excuse me, do you speak? No.
The detail that it puts in for the audience, and I think some people try to say, like, the only way to watch this is in a theater to get the full exposure. It's like, if you are open-minded enough, I think you can enjoy this. I have, my monitor's a little bit big, but a lot of it big.
He's compensating.
Yes. But yeah.
That's a fucking huge monitor. Shut up.
It's a wraparound.
Yeah.
They're a wraparound.
People can't see this
Yeah,
shit.
like a wraparound porch.
But the first person that he meets, obviously, is Elena. And then he
Elena
goes...
handbasket.
He goes down to Studio 4. You see, like, the red flashing light above, like, it's recording and things are in session. To me, I took this as a warning already. He sees that, and then he walks in. It's like, you see the warning, and then if you go beyond that door, it's kind of like a point of no return. Yeah. It's like, you are already engaging in this twist.
Right. It's like the entrance to hell, the abandoned hope, ye who all enter here.
Right. And Francesco there is... He kind of makes a note. I think it was Francesco. Says something like, a new world of sound awaits you.
Right.
And I think it is the sound, which is the epitome, the source, the seed, that which twists things in his brain.
Right.
Francesco Coraggio is played by Cosimo Fusco, which you know him.
I don't even think you're saying words at this point.
You remember...
Frankie Cusco?
Cosimo Fusco. You remember him, right?
What are you saying to me?
Do you know what the word... crap weasel is?
Yes.
He is the guy who played Paolo in Friends. Yeah, he was the one in the blackout.
Yes.
Yes.
Who was making up Italian in that whole episode.
No, he wasn't. It was...
Yeah, no. He was like,
Well, he was ad-libbing.
Yeah, but he was like just making up random shit as he was
He's
saying.
like, oh, look at the moon, look at the stars, look at...
Guarda la luna, guarda le stelle, guarda tutte le cose belle.
You do know a little English. Poquito. Yeah. Do you know the word crap weasel? Yeah. You know? That's funny, 'cause you are a huge crap weasel.
I mean, I do want to translate on that, but
it's like, was it guarda l'estate, guarda la luna?
No comprende.
So you're hearing this audio of them chopping lettuce and chopping watermelon, getting the sounds of.
I really wanted watermelon after that scene. If I'm honest.
Same.
With the awkward sound tech just holding the watermelon out to him. No facial
I almost
expression.
brought us watermelon, but I totally forgot.
No facial expression, no nothing.
Traffic pissed me.
Look, I can't remember what the comedian is he looks like, but he looked very Canadian, just holding it out.
Okay.
And you
Is it the guy who always wore the hat?
Yeah.
Fuck, what is this? He's in like a couple.
It's like Harley something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. But anyway, so you kind of get the idea that this movie is going to be predominantly sound oriented. And then when you really get the pushover is
the title helps too.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like going to Macaroni Grill and realizing they have more than macaroni.
They do? What's
Francesco?
What? I've never been to. Is that a real place?
I have no idea. I think he was just making shit up.
Oh.
But Francesco,
Oh boys.
I got excited.
When you meet Francesco, like
he for the next podcast.
Sort of has a way about him that can kind of be a bit confusing, and it's like it's alarming at the same time and easing. Like I think it's more like the body gestures or the movements or something like that. Like he seems to challenge Gilderoy, and his words they seem like they are meant to be kind. Like, what was your first impressions on?
He's very condescending, yeah.
Super condescending.
Very condescending, very, this is my ship, but you can feel like you're in the lead. We're bringing you here because you're the best, but you're not as good as me.
A new world of sound awaits you. A new world that requires all your magic powers.
Mr. Santini.
He'll see you when he has time. Everything is ready. It's all for you, Gilderoy.
D120.
Is that the first thing you say when you greet someone?
Francesco, posso andare a pranzo?
Devi finire la scena.
Dai, crederò meglio stomaco pieno.
Vabbè, vai, 15 minuti, veloce, eh? Giovanni, ferma la musica. Now, how about a proper greeting? Huh? What's wrong with you English? You don't believe in handshakes? No hugs, no kisses? Here. That wasn't so painful, huh?
I don't know. Like I said, I think Toby Jones was a terrible cast for this.
Agree.
Like he wasn't limey enough to be
limey.
He wasn't limey enough to look scared or Weasley. He wasn't.
Limey?
He didn't have like the I'm going crazy enough to me to really sell the fact that he was losing his mind. He's a great actor. Don't get me wrong, but I just think he was a little miscast for this. I thought the rest of the cast was fantastic, but I think that role could have been a little bit better executed. But some of the, like, it really ramps up when you get the first image of the witch in the sound booth. And that's when you really start to get to use your imagination, where it's just basically your POV of the witch in the sound booth and her screaming a deep scream. And it doesn't cut away. There's no theatrics. There's no nothing. It's just your POV of a woman in a sound booth screaming with effects.
Rovina 1, scena 18, ripresa 1. Inconsapevolmente una maledizione viene lanciata e la prima strega si solleva dal mucchio di cadaveri con una sete di vendetta.
The witch's revenge. Now that they rise, they'll do exactly to others what was done to them.
And it opens up your mind. I think that's the first indication of...
I feel like that was before that. I think the folly, well, I think the red light was one of the first things, the warning. And I think when he starts going to the folly and then he offers the fruit.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
fruit of his labor.
Fruit
if you want
of his loins.
Not though. I knew you were going to say that. But he offers the fruit. It's kind of like tasting the insides, tasting the seeds of something.
Well,
but there's not only that. Sorry.
No.
But the breakdown, I loved the notes, the charts and graphs. That's something that kind of fascinates me.
I did enjoy it.
And that's another good helping you build your own imagination, because when they would play the audio sound, they would focus on that. Like the woman falling.
There's these scribblings, the intricate writings and all that. Like you see the graphed levels of tracks. And I love learning about people's processes. And that's one thing. Is like when I look at it, it's like, oh, it's a schematic. I can kind of follow it. It's like if I am aware of something how to piece something out here, this is something foreign to me. I've never seen it, but just a glance, I'm like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah. This movie definitely isn't Step Brothers. Like, you definitely have to have an imagination to enjoy this movie.
What about Teresa's song, the creepy Italian whispers? It's fucking creepy as fuck.
Yeah, there's so much unease in this movie that ruined by the pacing, that just like you get so built up and then it's like, oh, now you get to watch some asshole treat a woman like shit for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, again, I think that adds. I say that every time, but I think the uncomfortability adds to the experience itself.
Right.
You talking about like Lorenzo when he's finally introduced, bringing in some chocolati to the group.
Well, and the problem is, though, it's made to portray the giallo genre in the late 60s, early 70s. And it's great to an extent, but I don't think they really understood how that genre was. Like, I wish I could say it was more professional, but I think it was either very calm, like very professional, or so much worse. Like, I feel it was almost like a porn set on some of the giallo films.
Nice.
I could see that too. Mainly because of the people itself. It's like when he's looking outside of the screen, inside of the sound area, outside of the booth, and he's seeing how Santini and even Guido, that's not his name, Lorenzo, that's his real name. Lorenzo is pretty much macking on these chicks and stuff. And later she actually says that she just feels like a whore to them. Yeah. I mean, he already feels foreign. Like, he's seeing people communicate and he has no idea what people are saying.
Right.
It's just he knows that Santini hand selected him because Santini sees him as like the best in the business.
Right. Yeah.
Or cheapest.
And he's not privy or comfortable or experienced to work on a horror film, which is corrected later because Santini tells him, like, this isn't a horror film. This is life.
This is a masterpiece.
This is the human
experience. Yeah.
What's going on?
Just another scene where Veronica cannot use her imagination on.
Speaking of scenes, I was going to ask you about the film.
Hey, what do you mean?
Like, just to know a bit about what happens.
No, Santini's busy.
It's okay, Francesco. This is a very specific vision. But you must help me, Gilderoy. It's something I want you to respect.
No, it's not that, it's just... I've never worked on a horror film before.
Horror film? This is not a horror film. This is not a horror film. This is a Santini film. True. Santini film is violence, I know. But questa è la vita. This is the life. This is part of the human condition. Please, Gilderoy. Don't call my film horror again.
Slip of the tongue.
Don't worry, it's okay.
I don't know, the girls don't seem to think that way.
Yeah.
Girls are human experiences too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't. Never mind.
Consentment should also be.
So would you, Justin, consider Claudia almost like the love interest of the movie then?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I can see how you would think love interest. I've put these characters as personal emotions of Gilderoy's.
Okay.
And I'll explain that later. You're questionable right now. We'll just run things through and I'll... Yeah.
I'm questionable?
You're questioning things about... Sure, are you? Is that a question?
Just trying to understand your thought process. But yeah, then we're introduced to the declining mental status of, like I said, Claudia.
She's like losing.
Yeah.
She loses her mind pretty easy. That's where you kind of start getting the descent of...
Well, she's losing her voice too. It's like something that is...
I need some water.
Yeah. I consider Claudia doubt. She is the doubt. It's like it's something that kind of is supposed to echo in your mind when something feels wrong.
Right.
And she is losing her voice to even speak. Like Francesco tells, it was like, bicker on your own time. Like, you're here to do a job.
Right.
Yeah.
Do that.
So if you consider her doubt, would you consider Francesco would you consider him like pride?
I would consider him like logic and reason or something. Or logic.
Francesco?
Yes, he's logic. He's something who has something he can point from A to B, and he's just trying to get the job done. Whereas I see Santini as reason, and you can have corrupt reason. Okay. So Francesco is working underneath Santini, even though his reasoning is bad, the logic is still connecting. The doubt is not speaking up. You know, she ends up losing her voice.
Right. So would you consider Lorenzo? Because I would consider him more chaos than I would consider Lorenzo chaos in this situation.
I consider him more like the instinct or so. It's like he just does what is. Yeah. It's like he uses his sexual nature. He uses his lust for like the chocolate or whatever. Like he's more gluttonous, you know, like he's just doing what it is. Not necessarily natural, but just natural.
So would you
instinct?
So would you describe Elena then as temptation?
She's a different part. There's certain psychological.
I'm trying to figure out here, Haas, and you're not doing me any favors. You're just confused the whole time. Just let it roll.
Okay. We'll roll this in order. I have it broken down in a certain way. Anyway, so he leads the booth. He sells to try to fix the mic. He comes back. Meanwhile, Teresa and Monica are bickering, talking crap about the project. What is it? The Malleus Maleficarum. It translated as Hammer of Witches.
Hammer of the Witches, yeah.
Yeah. So thus far, Gilderoy has seen the film. We, as the audience, have not. It is his job to arrange the sound design around this. Although he knows nothing about the film, let alone the language, he's able to decipher a tincture of Latin, though. So he knows, I assume he has some sort of religious background to understand, like the Malleus Maleficum or Maleficarum.
I feel like you're just saying Harry Potter spells.
I am.
Pretty basically.
I'm pretty sure that is.
That's another awesome thing about this movie, too. You never see a single shot, never see a single scene of the actual movie.
Until the end, which is part of him, though, wrestling with somebody.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I thought, okay, yeah.
So we don't see the movie until his downfall or a spiral or whatever starts to happen, where he starts becoming part of the movie.
Right.
Where it's like, you see him in the movie, and now you also see him speak in Italian. So it's like, art is now imitating
That really
life.
confused me.
Right. And you don't know if that's just in his own head, or if that's a reality factor, but through the whole entire movie, you're having to use your imagination because they very coyly
I've been watching
slip
too much
it in.
Marvel because I thought this was like a multiverse thing.
Well, back at the sound booth, he's putting things together, listening back to his own recording. So we see something. He takes one of those little Mattel discs, whatever, tapes, and it's all indexed. He's very intricate on how he labels things. He's very organized.
Yeah.
At least this is supposed to seem like his mind is, has some sort of structure. A lot of things revert back to like his mom. You see his mom's footsteps, a few other sounds, I guess, with his mom.
Giggity.
Then he reads the letter from his mother, and there's the birds outside, the chiff-chaffs. The letters provide a sense of home, familiarity. He takes comfort in receiving news from his mother. Also noted in the letter that she received news from another of his projects that there are too many bells. So that's the negative connotation of bells in dreams can symbolize one need to pay attention. Warnings about impending danger, a transformation even. To add, dreaming of a shed gives feelings of isolation, abandonment, or overwhelmingness. Birds nested in the isolation fosters anxieties and worries. So this is the things that are kind of going on in his head as he is taking space in the Berbian sound studio.
Anima di Cristo, santificami. Corpo di Cristo, salvami. Sangue di Cristo, inebriami.
Another movie that has a great example of bells being used to be ominous is The Exorcist.
Yes.
When Father Karras is running to his mother, they cut audio completely and they just have the bells ringing. It's a good observation.
I like how, all right, so Francesco comes back and he pulls the pen out of his hand.
No time for love letters, Gilderoy. Help Sylvia with a mic.
So saying there's no time for love letters because he's trying to write back to his mom. and he's being a crap weasel right here. A huge crap weasel. I think the gesture here kind of speaks volumes too, because him removing the pen is also kind of like taking his voice away or taking his own hand away. Like he has no action in this or decision.
Right.
Yeah, it's this sort of, if I'm considering Francesco as the logic, he is cutting things down straight off, like, nope, we don't do that now.
Right.
Almost oppressing him. There's many things so far that add up to the anxiety and frustrations of Gilderoy. Like he's gone back, I want to say at this point, like twice now, asking for the compensation of the flight. I didn't really understand first. I'm like, what, did he just get peanuts or whatever? Or I was like, oh, it's the whole plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to.
So it's like he doesn't have that security of finances. He doesn't know when he's going to get paid or even if he's going to get paid.
Right. And that's something you don't, and it's addressed by some of the actresses as well about not getting paid. And
yeah, it's a financial burden, I guess, for him.
If we ever get paid.
And then he is away from home, so he doesn't have that comfort of home. He just has like the sounds and stuff that sort of help him guide along. Another really important thing I like about Giallo films that this non-Giallo film hinted in was the black glove.
The black glove, yeah.
Yeah. So, what was
very important of the black glove.
It's like he's the one who's kind of controlling or triggering the things to happen on screen, the projectionist. You hear him by name, but you only see his glove. You don't see who he is. So Francesco makes a remark that one of the girls can't even scream in Italian while the other womanizer guy, Fabio, that's his name. Guido, Fabio. Sorry, Lorenzo is the other. Fabio is that guy. Salvatore Cosi. He makes an excuse for her says, go give her a glass of water. And as he leaves, he's like, and spit in it.
Yeah. I was like, that's mean.
Yeah.
At home or in his apartment, he tries to add to the piece by creating some sort of foley work using like some spaghetti sauce in a blender and begins to.
Was that spaghetti sauce?
I don't know what it was. I think for
like
me,
ketchup, but Europe doesn't know what ketchup is. So.
Catsup. Yeah, it's not.
No,
yeah,
it's gross.
You have to buy the ketchup packets too. It's like, can I get some ketchup packets? And they give you one. They're like,
cheap ass
50.
Bitches.
That'll be €50 or lira in this sense, since it was in the 80s or whatever.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. So he attempts this chainsaw effect with the tomato soup or something, getting the tomato soup on him.
Like all over.
He has
like
little
his face,
oopsies.
his shirt.
Like he didn't put the lid on it. I imagine if you have your equipment there, you would probably try to keep things a little bit safe or so.
I always wrap my equipment.
Such a dork, since he's from Dorking.
Oh, I get what you did there.
This was also a interesting scene for me. During this little foley work, he looks into the mirror and he sees the tomato soup on him. And like that gives me the sinister look, like he's changing now. Right. Like he sees what we would assume is like blood or something like that. At least that's a look it gives. He notices a spider on the edge of the mirror. Mirrors can be metaphors for truth or a need of self-reflection and introspection, and spiders can incite meaning of being trapped, tricked, and snared. I think it is.
Snare man.
I feel like at this point, it's he who is fooling himself.
Right.
So he has like a refusal or a disconnect to see the truth. Spiders are also creative creatures like himself. He is an artist spinning spools of tape. I'm slightly confused where this story might go at this point.
At that point?
Yes. This is my little note I was making as I was writing. Because like he opens the window and releases a spider. Is he releasing the artist? Is he art imitating life? Windows are objects.
No, he released the spider to catch the fly.
That the grandma swallows to.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why. She swallowed the fly.
I think just that.
I guess she'll die.
I think just letting go of that spider right there. I feel like it was opening a door or window or something like that is starting to shift in him. Like he's already getting that frustration. It's like when you have high anxieties and you can no longer control yourself or hold yourself back, there's no telling exactly what you're going to do at that point.
Yeah.
So we never see the projectionist. So that was another note I made. I think that kind of, or what is actually being projected. I assume that we actually do not see what Gilderoy sees. He works inside the booth, turning knobs and levers like the inner workings of one's brain. We see inside of his brain during a fine process of disconnecting, a coaxing into his own snap where he begins to believe. So the more he adds or contributes to the film, I think is him unwinding everything as he's building his new persona, his snap. Yeah. Then what's her name? comes in and takes revenge on the witch's revenge.
Yeah.
The new chick who came in and started screaming or whatever, we get to nearly see her burst a blood vessel in her eye. It's like you get so close to her eye and you see like the blisters in her eye, vessels, I should say. I'm like, that eyeball's going to pop out.
Which is something
That's icky.
Which is something that doesn't get nearly addressed in horror nowadays. Like a good scream queen is hard to find.
Yeah, and then she goes even further with it with all the extra noises.
Yeah.
And since I'm a very big fan of Mike Patton, I loved that. So I'm like, right on.
All right.
After her is when we are finally introduced to Santini, arrived in the studio, led by a dog. The man who hired him for the project, Giancarlo Santini. Santini is ebullient of Gilderoy's presence, asks him if he likes the studio, says it's good and that it's bigger than his, which is a shed. It only fits 2 at a time. So now there's more things that are kind of, that he has to process or whatever. Then one of the screaming girls comes in, Francesco, after scolding Gilderoy about his comment about the Mallard high pass filter to have manners.
Questo sì che è un uomo. Let me feel this man. This beautiful, crazy man. Oh, Gilderoy, this is a very special day for me. Beautiful, and the big collaboration begins. So, good studio?
Yes, it's all right.
Bigger than your studio?
Gilderoy's studio is just a garden shed.
Only 2 in at a time.
The mixing room here is very special.
Well, the Mallard needs a service, but otherwise...
What needs servicing?
The Mallard high-pass filter?
Really? You know, when you meet someone for the first time, just try and discuss only positive things. It's good manners.
This is another thing. There's certain components that are inside the studio that are starting to break down. The high pass filter is breaking. There's certain, I'm thinking it's mental components. There's something that is not filtering certain things in his brain that it's going to allow that reason and logic to reconnect certain other things.
Okay.
So it's a deterioration, mental deterioration. Santini continues with her on the criticism of to scream with intensity to reach the other side.
Scusami, non avevo capito quanto lo volessi intenso.
Siamo tutti d'accordo che un attizzato infuocato nella vagina di una donna è un'esperienza intensa.
Un'intensità che va oltre. Capisci cosa voglio dire?
Mm-hmm.
Forse adesso riuscirai a trovare l'ispirazione per la tua performance.
Speriamo.
Meaning that there is a specific sound they are wanting to hit. Currently, they have a problem with the high pass filter or that it needs serviced. High pass filter is a filter that allows the high frequencies to go through and cut low frequencies under a certain threshold. In sound, frequencies are how fast something vibrates. High frequencies vibrate so much faster than low ones. So specifically for this job, maybe the particular filter isn't helping reach the desired tone or allow it to pass due to faulty hardware. But if I am to equate to a psychological sense, maybe the filter is a mental synapse that filters high vibrations, in this case, tensions. I thought this comment was also reverting back to like his mother, where Francesco, yes, was kind
Francisco.
Yeah, when he was trying to warn Gilderoy about Sylvia shaping her reverberated voice, he's like, be careful with that girl. There's poison in those tits of hers.
They told me what kind of films you normally do.
Quarter inch is quarter inch, whatever the film is.
You never stopped to ask Santini or Francesco why they hired you? It doesn't make you curious? See you, Gilderoy.
Be careful with that girl. There's poison in those tits of hers.
And I was thinking
in all their tits.
I was thinking of, like mother's milk, it's maybe something that to do with his mom. I think if I'm just to give away what my takeaway of the movie itself is, I think he killed his mom. That's
maybe.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I think so.
You thought way
This
too hard about it.
escalated quickly.
So
that hard about this one.
Yeah, to me, Francesco comes off as a strain of logic that remains in the booth to try to keep everything on board, to keep things running. Sylvia is the distracting voice or the doubt. The next scene, the voice persists on the player as he goes to sit down back towards the mirror with these red lampshades. Red can be lust or even warning. Turning his back towards the mirror is a refusal of reflection. One of the other lamps is casting deeper in the mirror, like it's a deeper warning, and he is not seen anywhere in the reflection. Sitting in the chair, it shows he's getting comfortable with being oblivious of losing himself. The poison in those tits seem to tell me there's hinting something motherly.
I know, I wanted to see those tits.
I'm assuming also probably like a defective inheritance, like maybe a gene that he received from his mom that sort of like synapsed him or something, or turn him off.
See, and you guys at home can watch this movie and pick your own idea of what's going on. Because that's why they made this movie, is to make you use your imagination. You guys at the core should watch this movie. Watch a bunch of crazy white people.
The power out. Go. So around these times in these little areas, to conserve power, they have to cut power. They have to have power cuts. This is sort of the flip flop of things. So Massimo and Massimo, those are the prop guys. They're ill and out for the day. So it's kind of up to Gilderoy to take over for the props. The power outing, which is much like the machine not getting any power, such as the high pass filter not working, it can sort of taint things, confuse things. These props are being confused as a banquet for banquet. As a banquet.
That's what you were trying to say.
Dinner.
Yes. For the others.
Just fucking
present.
say dinner.
Dinner. So, they're waiting to eat the props.
Banquet. Banquet.
Yeah, it's supposed to be food, but still. In a display, Gilderoy is ushered to demonstrate how a light bulb can become a convincing UFO, which amazes the others. This active confusion, which masks the inactive confusion, mental degrading, convincing yourself that what is horror is only human nature. His face shows an emptiness as he scores the light bulb across the wire. The way that he was doing that, he was so lost in it. But it's the sound that altered something.
It was the late 60s. They were amused by a lot of things that were dumb as fuck.
È fantastico.
Grunts and...
They didn't
seen Batman?
They didn't have a lot of entertainment, so rubbing a light bulb on a string was probably pretty exciting.
Sounds hot, dude.
Yeah.
Santini...
I do the same thing.
The name Santini means little saint, and saints are the ones who honor...
Santino Marella?
Yes.
Santini.
They honor the beliefs of someone who's passed away. It could also mean loving change, enthusiasm, reliability.
Santini in high school?
No.
Yes.
I used to be called
Teeny Weeny.
Teeny Weeny, Justinini. Justin Malini.
Justin Panini. The Teeny Weeny. Manganini.
Fabio.
Anyway.
The other guy, Fabio. He's a character who operates on instinct, not entirely sure what his job is when I was watching it at that point. Just doing what he wants. He asks Gilderoy to make a bat sound, and before he obliges, the power kicks back in, and Francesca leads them back, like the logical side kicking back in. It's like, whoop, nope, we got to get back to work now.
Justin, do your best bat sound.
Got to get back to work right now.
Okay.
What is your best bat sound?
Where's the drugs?
I'm Batman.
That was really good. Hold it together.
Where is the drugs? Where is the drugs? Fuckface.
Malkovich? Donde los dragos?
There was a part in the booth with just Francesco and Gilderoy where they're kind of talking back and forth, and you get to see these tight shots of Francesco, just his eye. It was very
eye-ish.
Very
eye-ish.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's where he asks again about the reimbursement.
He said ass.
He's like, aren't you doing this for the love of the art?
Nope.
Like, well, no, fuck. I'm out of here, man. Fuck you.
I'm from Britain. This is Italy.
Britain.
Yeah.
You stay here. I'll ask Yana to make an order.
Would you mind asking if she's had any news?
You mean you want your money again?
It's just you said...
We said reimbursement. And you think we're not going to give it to you?
Yes. I mean, no.
You know, I would appreciate it if you trusted me more. What I admired about you was that you were an artist. That you were doing this with a love. You know how many calls we get every day from people who want to come here and work for nothing? Because they love what they do. Money is not their motivation. But I'll put your request in over the others. And I'll ask Elena to talk to the accountant.
So the spider crept back in.
None of these girls want to fuck me. I just want my money back now.
Please give me money. Maybe it's a miscommunication. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, the spider crept back in, and now it seems to be at his work desk. Like it's taking over part of his work. This new.
Well, maybe they should get a bird to eat the spider to get the spider to get.
We first see the spider on the edge of the mirror, and now it's on the edge of his notes. The trapping has intercepted his work. In the next scene, the spider is on the lettuce, which is a prop for the head. Or confusing.
It's also a prop to splash in the water to make it sound.
It's supposed to sound like you're drowning somebody.
No, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
The one guy blowing
that's where the
in the
spider
cup
is.
with the straw, and the other guy drowning fucking lettuce heads.
And then you see this ickies.
We need one of those guys on the podcast.
You see these ickies.
This is what I do.
I have to do it myself.
Oh no, sure you do.
So like the food is beginning
In
to
post.
mold. It's growing rot and all that. So that's probably also why the Massimos are out sick, just because they're working with all this.
Working with rotten food, yeah. That could symbolize his mental state too, is going bad.
Yeah. Well, that's a.
I can do it too, bitch. I can do it too.
You did it. Congratulations. You did it.
Leveled up. I'm a level 3 wizard now.
I think it's more like the internal organs. So it's like
I almost played that the other day.
the organs that are like your liver. It's responsible for clearing out all the toxins and stuff. But when your liver shuts down,
that was your kidney.
Kidneys, whatever. Fuck you.
We're not a doctor.
I'll go fuck yourself.
But like when that breaks down, all of your other organs start to break down. So it's like that's the high pass filter that's supposed to catch certain things. That's what that is.
Oh.
So Francesca comes in and finally gives him an attaboy, and thinking this is where the logical part of him begins to corrupt. So he's being rewarded for something. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I am doing this right.
Right. That false sense of they can see his mental state degrading, so they need to throw him a bone.
Right. He approaches Elena again about the circuit board, and she still doesn't know anything. I feel like there's Elena
Handbasket?
Yeah. In the sound studio is your subconscious. Outside, is more of a conscious or
your psyche.
There's other brain levels or whatever. So when he travels down that hallway, that's probably his brain returning to a different level of consciousness.
Fascinating.
Again, I'll go through this. Elena is a receptionist. Things come in and things go out. Basic information at the front desk.
Giggity.
If all the production happens at the sound booth, that is more of the conscious. He has to take the hallway with the screen, which sort of descends down to the subconscious. Receptionist, subconscious. Huh?
Jeez,
I said that backwards, but yeah.
So would that make Sanini the ego
right now.
and Francesco the superego?
No.
No.
I have no idea. Maybe it could be. I just still saw him as logic and reason. But it could be. Yeah. I could see Santini as more ego, since that is going to play a part in like the id. But whatever. Fuck it, whatever. Now there's an obvious change in his disposition. Now, Francesco approaches him yet again about the studio space. He was more so apologetic and kind, and now it's as if he can care less what people are saying. Like,
Lorenzo's saying you've been messing with his faders.
Did you ask if you could do that?
No, just don't lower the noise floor.
I think you're forgetting this is not your studio. Try and be more considerate.
he puts his hand on his, cheek and like just looks away like, fuck these people. Like they're not doing anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
So a recorded voice says, please, Gilderoy, don't let them hurt me, as if he is being made into the project. Like you finally hear something that kind of, I guess, pulls more attention.
Yeah, a little bit of a descent into madness, some auditory hallucinations.
He has an issue performing some of the Foley work on the set, match the screen with the splashing liquid in a pan to simulate the sizzling sound of a red-hot poker going into the witch's vagina.
Nice.
The witch's vagine. Francesco stands beside him, urging him to do his job. Gilderoy has reservations about it, as though there's an emotional element that sort of holds him back. It's like, I'm still attached to something, and I can't match what is going on here. Oh, something is holding him back. After his scolding, he pulls out another note from his mum, talking about the chiff-chaffs and that they did get paid for his work, called The Local Perspective. Chirping birds, swelling of comforting music and children's laughter plays as he reads. I liked how when any sort of idea or talk or exposure, whatever, of his mom, it tries to paint something more lighter. It tries to take him out of it. Like, it makes the audience feel as though he is finding his comfort here.
Right. Like she's his lighthouse in a storm.
Yes. But, let's talk home for a second. What does the idea of home, like, elicit for you? Like, what do you feel?
For me, home is a stress relief comfort. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a place or an item, just a concept of relief.
Right. Okay. I would say the same. Like security, safety, comfort, love, family, all that. What about payment? What is payment for you?
Making or receiving?
Both. Whatever.
Now, payment, that's hard. Let me think for a second.
It's like tit for tat for me. Like it's a fairness, a reward of fairness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something that is equal value given of efforts.
Yeah.
Like an agreement for an obligation.
Yes. It's like, so he received a check for his work on local perspectives, meaning he is favored and respected for who he is at home. Now he is confined to a foreign place, a different studio, an external or non-native perspective, and he has yet to receive the payment. The respect, the fairness, the sense of security or comfort, potentially these are the doings that may drive someone mad. It's like it's elevating the anxieties, the madness.
Certainty.
So we see the Massimos are back, and they are killing more veggies. This is kind of a...
Motherfuckers.
Pumpkin seeds are seen on Gilderoy's papers now, possibly meaning the core of himself is being taken over by a corrupt work that otherwise looks simple on the surface. Another attempt to remove the horror from itself to consider it normal. They're trying to normalize horror to make it just human.
Horror?
Horror.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, just making sure.
Going through all the notes again on the production, one of the charts stood out. It looked to be a grinning evil. The way that they had some of the stuff, they had certain things highlighted. And to me, it looked like a face, like a sinister face.
That's what your brain thought.
Well, if you look at it, yeah.
If you look at it, hold on. We don't have to. I don't know if you're literally holding on. I was joking.
Kind of going back over one of the notes where I took about, like, if Francesco's logic, he works for Santini. Santini is reason. Logic and reason work well together, such as Santini and Francesco. Logic operates on what is true. It provides reason, but logic can still be valid, but not sound. If reason is wrong, soundness is the fact of being in good condition, or the quality of having good judgment, or the ability to be trusted, or the safety of the system. Francesco tries to make everything in the booth operate, and he does so by way of Santini's word. Santini's wrong, or trying to, faulty reason, logic still takes effect one way or another. Feeding of the fruit. There's a part where they have a talk in the booth, and he takes a grape. Santini takes a grape, and he puts it in his mouth.
Wait. I want a discussion. How's everything?
Fine.
Francesco tells me you are trying to escape.
No. It's a misunderstanding.
I thought so. There's no reason to escape. Gilderoy, this is going to be a fantastic film. Brutal and honest. Nobody has seen this horror before.
Say that again.
Let me question you, Gilderoy. When you see these women, do you see Catholic or witch? Do you believe God, Gilderoy?
I'd rather not get technical.
You English, always hiding. How can I get close to you? Is it so hard? Where I come from, we swallow the seeds. You are changed. I feel it.
No great shape.
Signor Santini,
I felt this was more religious in my, kind of like a
the body of Christ,
like a Catholic ritual.
Yeah,
the Eucharist.
Yeah. Okay.
We commonly assume the apple is the fruit of knowledge when we think back to like biblical, but it's never discerned what fruit it is.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming like even just the and he's like we swallow the seeds, so he makes them swallow the seeds. Yeah.
Make women swallow my seed. I couldn't even finish that.
So we see him walk down the hallway again, like the interaction of the conscious relating to the subconscious. Being that Elena is on the PA system called for Santini, then the next scene, he is asleep. So more conscious or unconscious. I feel like that's kind of like taking him back and forth, whatever. And when you're sleeping, that's when like memories or long-term memories kind of like connect. Right. So I feel like that is also being corrupted in this.
Right.
We see the window is open. So it's like something is getting in or something is being pulled outwards or something fleeting or whatever. He retreats to the twigs because he is homesick. Sylvia comes out and kind of joins him, mushes about into the sticks.
What are you doing?
This reminds me of home.
The power cuts?
Twigs.
How are you getting on with Santini?
All right.
Really? I overheard you trying to get your money back for the flight. If you talk to people like that, you'll never get anywhere in this place.
Why? So being rude?
That's exactly it. You should be rude. Nobody pays money here unless they have to.
I have asked several times.
You don't just ask here. You shake your fists, you shout, you push these pigs until you get them into the corner. Be careful with Santini. That baby smile is there for a reason. You don't see that?
Dean Koontz wrote something says doubt is poison. They already said there's poison in those tits. I think she is doubt. It leads to loss of faith in yourself and all that is good and true. So she's resisted both Santini and Francesco and even Gilderoy to learn her name. So like when he went to go correct his mic, she's like, my name is Sylvia or whatever, like it's good to learn the names. It's kind of like the microphones and all this.
You can always question what I tell you to do when you're being paid to work.
Se li vedrò mai questi soldi.
Che ha detto?
Niente.
Are we ready? Yeah, I've replaced Teresa's mic with an Omni, so it should give it more space.
It's Sylvia. Teresa is there, Sylvia is here.
So many names to remember.
Just think of it like your microphones. Each one has a name, and you remember.
So it's like he's not recognizing this thing that is talking to her.
Yeah.
Or at least not by name. She says, be careful with Santini. The baby's smile is there for a reason. And if I was going to go back to like the name of Santini, meaning little saints, the baby. He approaches Elena in the reception with the off-putting attitude to call the accounts. It's like he's at his end right now. He's getting pissed off. He's like, put the fucking accounts on the... Well, maybe he did. I don't know. Did he say fucking?
No.
He just said put the accounts on the phone.
Oi! Give me accounts. Give me that.
Pronto?
Listen, the game's up, old boy.
What?
No more jumping through hooks. You give me my money, or I'll...
Wait, just stop there, okay? We already checked your ticket and there was no flight from Heathrow on the
He's trying to get his flight reimbursement. Again, the subconscious is the referential part of the brain that is constant contact with the unconscious. The recent memories are not being stored in the subconscious, which disrupts the unconscious, bringing forth fears and traumas. I feel like he's doing this to himself, though. A shot in the booth of the tape, coils crossing as he is altering more levers. Things are bleeding into each other. Lines are crossing each other, and he is watching it all. Sounds rush and then halt, all but a sound of a woman crying. Sylvia walks behind him in the doorway, saying her throat is better and wants to scream one more time.
My throat's better now.
moved on to Foley.
Can I? Just once more.
Which reel?
Forget the reel. I just need to scream. That's all.
So it's him allowing this doubt to sort of enter back in. Then she goes back to the room and she does her scream, but I liked this effect that they did on it. It's like it shows her and then it just shows the image compounding down into pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
It's doubt exercising what it does to the extreme as it fades into a smaller and smaller of the image, seemingly closing that part of him until it becomes silence. So doubt is no more here. No more here. I said that badder.
I'm not even going to correct you anymore.
So another power cut, our necessary component loss, and he is the one to finally light the candle now. So lighting a candle can mean he has built himself back up, or there is a clear change in his attitude. Something else is illuminating him. There's a change now. She tells Gilderoy that she is just a whore to them, how she said no many times.
May I help you?
He used me. I knew he would. I try my best to do my work, and it's never good enough. It always comes to the same thing. I'm just a whore to them. Nothing more. I said no. I said no so many times. He kept touching me here. I feel so cheap. Gilderoy. I feel so dirty and cheap.
You're familiar with the I think therefore I am?
I think therefore I am.
Oh.
I didn't say that.
I did.
Rene Descartes, he's kind of the one who
rented a cart?
Yes.
So he didn't put the horse before it, though.
Oh, Nelly.
I have it.
No, you don't.
Wrong one. Nope. God damn it. Nope, that's not.
What was that, firecracker?
There it is.
Wow.
So Rene Descartes. Thought provokes doubt. Let me further this one a little bit more. So logic and reason are closely related concepts, but they are not exactly the same. Logic is a systematic process of reasoning according to strict principles, often used to evaluate arguments. Reason is the mental faculty of making judgments based on logic or facts. Logic is a tool used with the broader capacity for reason. Logic and reason being Francesco and Santini. Now with Sylvia, doubt is the state of being uncertain or skeptical. The relationship between doubt and logic and reason depends on the context and purpose. Doubt can be a hindrance to logic and reason when motivated by bias or emotion or even irrational. Sylvia has suffered under Francesco and Santini and probably even Fabio. So it's like that part of him has been abused, that doubt. So it's like it's gone. She promises to exact her revenge on Santini, because of the molestation, comes in and pretty much destroys the equestrian vortex, which is the movie that they're one of the movies. Yeah. When Gilderoy checks the tape, it's been wiped and recorded over. A new narrative exists, probably all due to not looking in the mirror, to not self-reflecting. Maleficorum.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
I forget it.
Maleficarum.
Thank you.
See, these just sound like Harry Potter spells.
They are.
Oh.
Maleficarum.
So the story follows to them
That's
to
it?
cast a new girl. Francesco tries to stay professional by selecting the right girl, where it seems Santini is still trying to sway sexual
Very
interest.
interesting way to cast for audio,
Yes.
doing visual.
Yeah, they're like, let's get side shots. Let's get.
Need to see that.
Well, they're dirtbags.
Need to see that
profile.
butt. Let's see that butt.
You want to get this?
You want
But like
Not that butt.
Santini being the logical one is like, no, we're not
Also,
doing
I
that.
take all of them.
Hold on, I got to see. Hey, open your mouth.
But if you
Got to
look
see them
back,
teeth.
Spread your lips.
This is what I did like
Not
about
those.
This is what I did like about
Give me a
Gilderoy's
little kiss.
acting. Is like he looks so demented, and like he's watching them cast.
That's just his face.
And yes, this is true too. But he's wrapping.
He's like a little troll of a man.
It's like he's wrapping an XLR wire around his fist.
Wire.
Like he wants to snap. He wants to do something.
I
Like
want
it's
to punch,
yeah.
motherfucker. I will kill this motherfucker. He's like, that's another butt.
See the prop guys wearing heels. Cuts away again in the hall. It changes the consciousness or memory, retrieving hearing the footsteps. I like how he looks to the sound device when he hears the doorbell. When he's in his hotel, you hear a doorbell, and he checks that. But then this is where things get very twisted, where art is now imitating life. He goes to open the door.
This is where I got confused as fuck. Sorry, I derailed you. Weird.
There's a rattling on the door, and it kind of scares him. He goes to grab a knife, and when he goes to open the door...
A long knife, too.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, we're talking Michael Myers-esque.
Yeah.
There's nobody there on the other side of the door, and now he's back into the projector room.
For it, though.
Or the Berbian Sound Studio. His most recent actions...
that's the name of the movie.
This is.
Studio number 4.
His most recent actions that when he saw when he woke up and all that, it's being projected onto the screen. So he is now part of this. Not only that, but he's now speaking Italian in the film.
Yeah,
something we made mention earlier. The film on the projector then turns into a sort of giallo film now. The sound effect, the static, the distortion of image, the sound. It's like most movies back then, the giallo movies, the gialli, way back when, they put them in boxes of like yellow. Giallo means yellow. And that was kind of like this, the color which separated the movies. It's like, oh, this is the horror section. That just kind of stuff.
Adequate light.
So the movie burns and sizzles away and becomes a documentary of his hometown in Dorking. We get to see the pastures and the not liveliness. So back to Gilderoy in a bed reading a letter from his mom again. The Chiffchaffs were murdered and decapitated by magpies, allegedly. Seems somewhat important with a few different focuses on the letter that someone named Sheila confirmed the murder of the Chiffchaffs. Oh, Sheila. Magpies can represent superstition, omens, hostility, or act of being misunderstood, and chiffchaffs are warblers, which are symbols of transformation. So
you sound like you have marbles in your mouth there.
Warblers.
Why don't you warble
That's
on
what we
these?
used to call the Carter Lake girls with no
Warble
teeth.
on these.
Warblers.
Oh, okay.
Cuts back to him in his room, taking off to bed, and some lady comes in
pissing me off right now.
with a room with a knife, and she raises it above him, and they have a silent struggle. Back to the projector room, Francesco and Gilderoy are now speaking Italian to each other, watching the struggle of himself on the screen. So this is the scene from what we saw at the very beginning of him watching this. You know, they do the watermelon smash, and there it is.
If you drink, don't drive, do the water crawl.
John has reverted to country John.
You damn right. Sorry.
Singing songs of the South.
Like 90s South.
So yeah, Santini is there again,
Morella?
making out with the talent. So, and doubt has been replaced with gratitude or confidence. I think this new
Shouldn't be
person
allowed
is
to talk anymore.
gratitude or confidence, or even curiosity.
Oh.
So Gilderoy is back in the booth fixing some machine, reconstructing something in his mind. That's where the booth is. That's his internals. The new actress comes in and practices her lines, which are direct letters from his mom.
That was
creepy.
weird. I was like, what the fuck is
I feel like this is the only part, I mean, watching the film, because you know it's on a screen or whatever, I don't think was scary enough. But like when she comes in and pretty much recites that, I'm like, that was more of the what the fuck for me.
Yeah.
I don't think anything else in the movie except for the letter which provided comfort is the line. Like he is now part of the movie. So he's taken back to a room where he closes the closet he went into that led him to outside towards the twigs. It's like when he opened the room, it looked like a closet or some sort of armory or something.
Did you mean armoire?
Armory? Same thing.
No, I'm pretty
It's
sure
pronounced.
there's a bunch of guns in an armory.
That is the same thing.
Or a basketball court where I'm from.
Well, anyways, closets are something. It can be like hiding emotions or certain parts of yourselves, like protection or depravity or so. So a brief cut of Sylvia screaming in the booth, like a brief return of doubt as he is painted in red light flashing the Silencio studio light. Return yet again with the sound booth with Francesco. Francesco makes a negative comment about Santini casting with his dick, and we hear a horrible take on the screen by the new girl, Elisa. If Elisa is one of these new mental models, maybe even replaceable as an excuse, it's like she's just a substitute. She's not in there for the long haul. It's just like something that maybe a new line of reason or something that kind of like just builds on this. This is the ending of it. He even beckons Gilderoy himself to go out there and handle this excuse. Eliza ends up leaving with Francesco, runs out of there trying to stop being a huge crap weasel. And after the storm off, Francesco is in the projection room where he is fuming. He throws down those chains from the prop table on the floor before leaving, which cues another power cut. The chain of logic is now removed. We usually see Francesco inside the booth. So when Francesco finally leaves, I think that's an unchaining. Amidst the power cut, Gilderoy brings 3 candles to the sound booth. He notices the projector shines a small glimmer and sound turns on. So if during a power cut, there should be no power in there, but he's seeing something that's still shining. There's this glimmer that is still in there. He stands before the projector screen as he progressively becomes brighter and fades to the white with sound, burning, and birds. That's where I think it's the final descent into madness. What we saw of him struggling before killing the person who entered his room, I think this is him going back and forth from conscious to subconscious when he was sleeping in bed, and maybe he killed his own mom.
Huh. It's aggressive.
It is. But I like that movie. That which was what gave it a 6 for me. It's not. It is a very basic movie, but it has very large experiences or experimentation with it. But yeah, that's mine.
Yeah. So we obviously know what I would change about it because I've said it 300 times.
Toby Jones.
Toby Jones. Great guy, terrible actor. How about you, John? Change the whole movie? Just take it out, put in something different?
Maybe a tit. Throw a tit in there.
Yeah, it was a lack of tits.
Very lack of tit.
Male or female?
Female, you dumb
You know,
shit.
if I'm... It's 2023. I've seen some dudes with great tits.
Thank you. Oh, Sheila. I don't know why.
Due to what I was able to pull from this, I feel like my rating goes higher. That was my experience that I got out of this.
Okay, so yeah, are we re-rating it now? So
I don't think I would change it.
Conversations, your rating is still gonna be a 6.
Yes. So you're probably gonna.
That's why I said it slower. I was waiting for you to think.
6.
No, I'm gonna keep mine at a 3.
All right.
Yeah.
Like after hearing all that bullshit, I'm gonna write it down.
No, I mean I get it more, but
it doesn't help. The way that
maybe I'll try an edible and rewatch this movie. I guess
the way that they ended it, I
50
don't
milligrams or higher.
50
pussy.
Yeah, the way that they ended it, I don't think that it helps most audience members.
50 milligrams.
50 milligrams.
That's it. I don't know what I would change. I think it's not fine how it is.
Favorite, least favorite.
But
I have a favorite, least favorite.
I have a favorite, least favorite title.
Let's do the title first.
The title is Berbian Sound Studio.
I was hit. See that one. Mine is You've Been Punked. This is an elaborate prank. This is one of the worst 90 minutes of footage in the history of mankind. This Puget's trash might ruin relationships, end lives, and start wars. It's pathetic, my friend. I'm crying for the time I just wasted. That was from Ricky Dry Country in 2020.
Mine is 2 out of 10. Pile of wank. Bill is a violent horror movie.
What is his definition of wank?
I don't know, but billed as violent horror, this film is anything but. Its trashy art house plot is poorly written and directed, way beneath Toby Jones, who makes a brilliant performance in what must have been hell to
Hold
film.
on.
An official 6.2 out of 10 is not deserving of this appalling crap.
This guy who I read ranked Avengers Infinity War a 1 and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse a 1 and A Man Called Otto a 1. So this guy is a fucking idiot. Although he did rate Blood Diamond and Interstellar 10s and Terminator 2.
That doesn't fix it.
No, it doesn't.
Terminator 1 or 2?
2. 2's the best one. 1 shouldn't just be forgotten.
1 is necessary.
I mean, I guess.
You get to learn that.
I guess necessary.
That what's his name is kind of fucked up. Falls in love with a chick because of a picture.
I saw the second one first.
Same.
So I was really confused when he was the bad guy.
Yeah, I got no favorite, least favorite.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I wrote enough about this to.
Whose turn is it next?
Well, guys, that was the Barbarian Sound Studio. Thanks for tuning in. You can watch this if you choose to, if we've swayed you and you want to see this, or you want to see a terrible movie. You can watch this on YouTube for free. if you want to sit through some commercials, you can watch this on AMC Plus.
I have premium, so I did not have commercials.
John's flexing again that he can afford.
Oh, I
YouTube
don't afford it.
Plus.
I have been donated by Cho.
Yeah.
Joe or Cho?
Cho.
Joe.
Who still hasn't sent me any questions.
Wait, I thought he did.
He sent me like 2.
Oh, come on, Cho.
Justin,
You said you got an hour.
You are the next.
I am the next pick.
You are the next.
I am going to. I've been excited to fill this one up. I made a comment a while back with the MMK group that I was going to do something that was hinting towards.
Oh God, I can't.
This.
I don't know if I'm gonna like this.
What?
I don't know if I'm gonna like this.
You're gonna love this one.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So I need a break. All right. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna have from my movie watching write up or whatever.
You do this to yourself.
I know. I do, and I can't help it. It's
whatever.
There's a disconnect or the connect.
When you need a break, like, so we're not going to watch a movie, or you need a break, we're going to watch something dumb.
We are going to watch something amazingly dumb.
Yeah.
We already did. It was Romeo and Juliet.
You
Well, that
watch
has
your
so much more
fucking
meaning.
mouth.
That's so much more meaning in this. What I'm going to pick is just going to be a fun ride. All right. And I really want Jeremy to check this one out too.
Well, he better be back next time, or I'm fucking leaving the podcast.
His schedule should clear up after this. It's December when we're filming.
No, it's not. This is January. What are you talking about?
It's for January when
this
we're
is
releasing
2024.
2024.
Whatever. All right. I was introduced into this. It's going to be a series.
Get on with it.
No,
get in there. I got to.
He's got to make this longer.
Everything has to be a thing. You know,
It's got to be fucking actors.
So, you guys remember
Honestly.
the YouTube channel Machinima?
Nope.
What?
The gaming YouTube channel Machinima?
No.
It got. I don't know what
Gesundheit.
happened with it, but
Will
it
you
got
stop
closed
saying
down for
Harry Potter
something.
spells?
Anyways, they used to showcase certain animation projects or whatever.
Okay.
You know, and this is where I found out about like Mad Mario or the Link. Required watching, by the way. You should check out Mad Mario, and the Link is an asshole or whatever. Link the asshole.
What?
Yes. Legend of Zelda.
Have you seen Asshole Mario? Shit, it's
That's pretty much what it
hilarious.
is. That's asshole Mario or Mad Mario.
So what are we doing?
The creators of those, it's under the channel Hank and Jed.
I feel like this is what women tell me when they're trying to nonchalant me, tell me no, they don't want to have sex with me.
No, I
They
do want to have
just
sex
don't
with
want
you.
to hurt my feelings.
I do want to have sex with you. But what we are going to be watching is at least 20 episodes, all 50 if you're able to. You can hold on. Don't look at him like that. All the episodes are 3 to 8 minutes long. All right, so it's going to be quick. And you can cut off some time if you skip the first 10 seconds and the last 17 seconds and get it under.
Spit it out!
Yes.
Why do you get to do episodic stuff when I asked if I could do the Twilight Zone? You're like, no, that's dumb.
I don't think I
That's
said
really
that.
long.
Who said that?
You did.
I didn't say that.
You did too.
I did not.
Sounds like something German.
German
would
probably
say.
said that. I love vampires, but not those ones. Anyways, we are going to be doing somewhere around the 2000s or 2010s. Duralius and Associates.
don't
At
know
least the
what this
first
means.
20 episodes, all 50 if you're able to.
The fuck are you talking about?
Duralius and Associates.
That's it. Next time I'm picking Batman the Animated Series.
I'm just gonna pick. We're gonna watch 78 hours of commercials.
Well,
I'd watch it.
Aurelius and Associates.
Duralius and Associates.
Duralius
can I find
and
this?
Associates.
It's on YouTube. I will send you the link to the,
Yeah,
the playlist.
do that, and everybody at home, you will send you the link to
This, all right, so it's going to be a theme that Jeremy hates. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings style stuff.
So it's about girls or
it's
getting old or
hilarious.
laughing or
Don't ruin it just yet. Is Jean-Luc? He's looking it up.
No, actually, I'm doing something totally different.
He's masturbating.
No.
Oh, God.
Apparently, my dad sent me that I have something unclaimed in La Vista, and it's a real website. So
I'm a masturbating hand.
oh, Brian.
Oh my god! I thought he was here. Turned around and everything.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 038 or something like that. Oh, that's the volume one. I'm turning down the wrong thing. Go ahead and see us out, Elon Dog.
We've loved your presence tonight. We'll love your presence for the rest of your and our lives. Thank you so much for enjoying us. We are the Boundless PodTrap. This has been episode 38. For Justin and John, I am AJG or Lonnie or whatever you want to call me.
Or Chubbs.
Or Chubbs.
Devious1.
Devious
10C, or C10.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Devious1C10 at Comcast.com. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your not. We love you. Dad. John wants to fuck you.
True.
Au revoir. Cho, get your fucking questions in.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This concludes our broadcast day.
Corpo di Cristo, lavami. Sangue di Cristo, inebriami. Acqua del costato di Cristo, lavami. Passione di Cristo, confortami. Oh, buon Gesù,
Click.